International organizations and banks consistently rank Ukraine among the most corrupt countries in the world. Last year, Transparency International placed Ukraine 120 out of 180 countries on its Corruption Perception Index. For a long time, economic scarcity, top-down control of the economy, combined with a lack of transparency, meant that getting anything done required what some Ukrainians call giving a grunt. In a way, corruption is almost part of the culture.
Ukrainians have this, you can call it post-Soviet or maybe some other word, attitude where like, okay, top politicians can steal money, but if we get something still in the end, it's okay.
So they're tolerant of it?
Yes, there was this level of tolerance as long as there is, some visible leftovers for the rest of the country.
The Soviet days are over, but not the Soviet mentality. David Sakvarlidze used to work for the same prosecutor who's now at the center of the impeachment fight, Viktor Shokin. That's the guy who Donald Trump says Joe Biden improperly pressured the Ukrainian government to fire. There's no evidence of that, but Shokin was shady, even if he was never convicted.
I guess the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Escalating attacks on Joe Biden and his son Hunter. And so tonight here, the ABC News exclusive. Hunter Biden one-on-one with our Amy Robach. Hunter Biden insisting he did nothing wrong, that there has been no finding of any wrongdoing. But Amy pressed him, does he regret taking this work overseas, and asking him if his last name wasn't Biden, would he have been hired for those posts? And she begins tonight by asking about Hunter Biden and his father, the former vice president.
Did you and your father ever discuss Ukraine?
No. As I said, the only time was after a news account, and it wasn't a discussion in any way. There's no but to this. No, we never did.
Your dad said, I hope you know what you're doing.
I hope you know what you're doing.
I do.
And I said, I do. And that was literally the end of our discussion.
Hunter Biden reportedly made $50,000 a month to sit on the board of a Ukrainian gas company called Burisma. At the time, his father, former Vice President Joe Biden, was the Obama administration's point person on Ukraine.
What were your qualifications to be on the board of Burisma?
Well, I was vice chairman of the board of Amtrak for 5 years. I was the chairman of the board of the UN World Food Program. I was a lawyer for Boies Schiller Flexner, one of the most prestigious law firms in the world.
In the list that you gave me of the reasons why you're on that board, you did not list the fact that you were the son of the vice president.
Of course, yeah. No.
What role do you think that played?
I think that it is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if my last name wasn't Biden.
Do you regret being on the board to begin with?
No, I don't regret being on the board. What I regret is not taking into account that there would be a Rudy Giuliani and a president of the United States that would be listening to this ridiculous conspiracy idea, which has again been completely debunked by everyone. And
I think people at home are thinking, how could that not have crossed your mind, or you wouldn't have felt just a little bit in your gut like, maybe this isn't a good idea to go and sit on the board of this Ukrainian company.
I said to you, in retrospect, I wish that my judgment.
At the time, you never thought this might not look right.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
And then we turn to China. Hunter Biden traveled there with his father in 2013. President Trump claims that on that trip, Hunter Biden cut a huge deal with a Chinese businessman.
The president has repeatedly said that you received $1.5 billion from China despite no experience and for no apparent reason.
Hunter. He goes in, he has a meeting, he walks out. in his fund with $1.5 billion, with a B, $1.5 billion.
Obviously, fact checkers have said that that is not true.
Look, this is literally has no basis in fact in any way.
Have you received any money from
No.
that business dealing?
No.
At all? Not
No,
1 cent?
Not 1 cent.
Definitely not 1.5 billion.
It's crazy. No one ever paid me $1.5 billion. And if they had, I would not be doing this interview right now.
There is no evidence either Joe or Hunter Biden did anything wrong in either China or Ukraine, but there are questions about whether it was appropriate for Hunter Biden to sit on the board of a foreign company while his father was vice president.
What do you say to people who believe this is exactly why people hate Washington? A vice president's son can make money in countries
says
where
this?
your father is doing official government
by the
business.
way, well, I don't know what to tell you. I made a mistake in retrospect as it related to creating any perception that was wrong. And so, therefore, I'm taking it off the table, Amy. I'm making that commitment. Let's see if anybody else makes that commitment, but that's the commitment that I'm making.
And Amy Robach here with us tonight. Your interview making a lot of news all day. And we know that Hunter Biden also said something else to you, what he pledges not to do if his father is elected president.
That's right, David. He said, I quote, I won't serve on any boards or I won't work directly for any foreign entities when my dad becomes president. And of course, this all comes as Joe Biden, his father, takes the debate stage tonight along with several other candidates. But as you know, David, he is neck and neck with Senator Elizabeth Warren, so a lot at stake tonight.
Amy Robach with the interview tonight. Amy, thank you.